Here's what we plan to do tonight. So I have my brother Mike on for the first time this season, my dad on for the second time. Famously, he was asked to come back after rave reviews to Curmudgeon Corner. But here we are with the two of them and myself, and we are going to pick every matchup from the upcoming NFL playoffs, starting with the wild card round, which takes place this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday night. And we are going to take turns picking who we think is going to win. And then the two people that don't pick that game have two vetoes they can use throughout the entire course of the bracket. So my dad will get two vetoes, I'll get two vetoes, my brother Michael will get two vetoes. We'll call those red lights. Otherwise, if you agree with the pick or you don't want to use your veto, you don't feel strongly enough that the person picked the wrong team, you can give a green light, and that means you're okay with that pick. So I think when we get started, it'll be clear how it works. But we're going to pick all the way through to the Super Bowl. And at the end, we're going to have one complete bracket for the three of us that we agreed on in quotations. And this is a cooperative game. And I think we can go 100% if we do this correctly. Do you guys have confidence that we can get every single game down to the Super Bowl?
Nope.
Yeah, I think you're vastly overrating our selections. But I would like to say that this is a great opportunity for product placement. Maybe this is your chance for some sponsorship, just those chips that Michael's showing. Maybe for next year you can have a sponsor.
Doritos, Mike? Doritos Crunchy Loco?
Yep.
That's exactly right. Okay. Without further ado, it is Doritos. Oh.
Yeah.
It's like a Super Bowl ad. Yeah.
All right, Mike. Finish those Doritos. We got to get started. You actually have the first game of the weekend, Saturday morning, early afternoon, depending on where you're located. The Raiders are visiting Cincinnati to play the Bengals. That's the 4 versus the 5 game. Mike, tell us your thoughts.
Bengals. Do I have to? So you guys can veto that? Because Dad's gonna want to veto that one.
Yeah, I'll give a green light just because I don't want to use my veto. But do you want to give any explanation?
Yeah, I think Raiders. I think going into a postseason without a head coach that you've had for the entire year is incredibly difficult. I think as experienced as Derek Carr is, they're too spotty of a team. Bengals are streaking heading into the playoffs. They're a hot team. I think their offense is just firing on all cylinders. Raiders don't really have the shutdown secondary that they would need to stop a Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. So, and they're without, like, Waller's semi-healthy. They've lost 2 star receivers throughout the course of the year. So they've been patching together wins, but I think they snuck into the playoffs pretty luckily. And they beat the Chargers last week that were stagnant over the last 6 weeks. So it doesn't show that they have any solid success in the recent past. So I think Bengals all the way. I don't think there's any chance that they lose this game. I think they win by 18.
Yeah, it should be noted that Vegas agrees with you. Bengals are 6.5-point favorites at home. Burrow has been lights out. Had last 2 starts, he had 975 yards combined. So the offensive line's a little shaky, but Burrow kind of finds a way because he's young. He used his feet to move around the pocket. And so I'm going to give you the green light, Mike, but I know Dad's going to come in hot as a Raiders fan. So what do you got? Dad?
No, I'm being realistic. I agree with that pick as well. I think Michael's wrong about the coach because I think that they must love this guy. They seem to really enjoy playing for him. But if you watch the ease of which the Chargers were able to move the ball, and Burrow's probably the hottest quarterback in the league right now, right? I don't see how the Raiders are going to stop him. But
yeah,
I think the Raiders, just making it this far was pretty cool. But no, I think the Bengals are going to have when's the last time they hosted a playoff game? I don't even know. I mean, that place is going to be nuts.
And Cincinnati just lost in the semis.
Yeah, that game didn't really matter as much, but yeah, they're going to just. I think they're just going to dominate. So yeah, I agree.
I'm saying they lost the college football semifinal, so their fans are going to be coming out angry for this one.
Yeah,
we don't speak about college football on this podcast, but thanks, Mike.
It's relevant.
It's not relevant. There's no big game tonight or anything like that. All right, Dad. Second game, Patriots 6 seed at the Bills 3 seed. Vegas has the Bills as 4.5-point favorites. They split the season series 1-1. Who do you got?
I mean, this is an incredible game. It's so difficult to pick. I'm hoping you guys veto whatever I say so we can pull this one out. I know that New England's played kind of poorly 2 of the last 3 games, I believe, right? And Belichick, he's preparing. He knows the Bills so well, but I don't think weather's going to be. I think the quarterback maybe has hit the wall a little too. I'm going to take Buffalo. Just my gut. I'm going to take Buffalo.
I missed who you said the Bills.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big green light for me. I think Bills are the better team.
I don't think it's a big green light. I think anything can happen in a shitty weather game in Buffalo, but a green light.
All right. Bills moving on. Third game's mine. Eagles at Bucks. Gave myself the easy one, it seems. Bucks 9-point favorites. The last time these two teams played was right before the Bucks won the Super Bowl, 2002 NFC Championship Game. Brother of Tiki, Rondé Barber, had a 92-yard, believe it was an interception return touchdown.
You know who coached that team, Matthew?
I believe it was not Herm Edwards, Tony Dungy, the year after Gruden left, right?
I thought didn't they beat the Raiders in that Super Bowl?
Tampa Bay beat the Raiders in the Super Bowl. Yeah,
for their only Super Bowl win other than last year.
And
I think Gruden might have been the coach. Is that possible?
I remember Warren Sapp on that team, and they had a terrible quarterback. They ran the ball a lot. Yeah, I don't know. 2002. I thought it was Tony Dungy. It could be wrong.
Yeah, I may be confused too. I know that the Raiders had two coaches left the Raiders and then won Super Bowls after they left the Raiders.
No, you're right. John Gruden, coach of the 2002 Buccaneers.
Yeah, and they beat the Raiders, ironically. And I think Gruden was the Raider coach before that. But anyway.
You're right. Sorry.
Sorry.
No, I think I have to still say who I pick. So Buccaneers.
You're not gonna let that 20-year-old story get in your way of your pick? Okay.
No.
Green light.
Oh man, I have no faith in Tampa, and I think the Eagles are just. I mean, aren't they one of the best running teams in the league, and they can control the clock, and but you're right. I mean, there's no way they can lose at home the first playoff game. I don't see Tampa going deep in the playoffs, but this would be a monumental upset. I'm gonna have to. This is the one I'm worried about, but I'll green light it as well.
Yeah, Yeah, we don't have to talk anymore about it, but I think the Eagles got away with a lot being in that division.
Yeah.
Playing the Giants twice and Washington twice.
Which we're going to bring up when we get to with the other game that we're going to talk about. Yeah. There's another team that's in the playoffs that have benefited from those schedules.
We'll get there. Okay, back to Michael for the next game. And what do we have on the docket here, Mike, for you? 49ers. So this is the Sunday afternoon game, middle game on Sunday. 49ers at the Cowboys. Cowboys are 3-point favorites according to Vegas.
I go 49ers on this one. I think similar story to the Bengals. I think they're starting to click. I mean, Garoppolo has some moments where you're like, how are you starting quarterback in the NFL? But then he has other moments where it's like, wow, you've incredible clock management. You can execute on plays fairly efficiently, even though you can't throw the ball downfield as effectively. And then I just think the Cowboys are, everyone thinks they're very good, but if you watch some of their games, it's like they either squeak out wins or have like embarrassing losses in their losses, and then their wins are like, I feel like a lot of the wins have been like against injured quarterback teams, or it's kind of been all over the board.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at Arizona was able to beat Dallas in Dallas when Dallas still needed the game. Plus, San Francisco might be one of the hottest teams in football in the last couple of months, right? I mean, they really turned it around. So I see Dallas losing this one for sure. I agree.
You know when the last time Dallas won a playoff game is?
Did Tony Romo win when he was with them one game? That's a good question.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
he had that.
I honestly don't know. So they, oh my God. Okay, the last time they've won a playoff game, 2018. So they did win one with Prescott. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4 playoff games, 5 playoff games since 1995 when they won the Super Bowl. They've won 5 playoff games. That's it.
Yeah, and you guys are right. They're definitely not as good as their wins. So yeah, I agree. You're not vetoing that, Matt.
It could be like really strong, like the fact that everyone here hates the Cowboys because we're Giants fans, and also too, Michael and I live in San Francisco, so we have a little bit of the feeling a little bit of the Niners thing here. But I gotta say, I was walking around yesterday when the Niners were playing the Rams, and the people were back at like bars and stuff and really going crazy for the Niners. So I think there's a little momentum in the Bay Area for this team to make a run.
What about the people you didn't see who were at the actual game? I mean, we talked about this the last time I was with you. That is just an embarrassment. The Rams had the ball and it was so loud, the Rams couldn't hear the play calling.
That was crazy. Yeah.
There was more. There had to be that place was full of Niner fans. And Niner Nation is back.
Yeah.
Although, like the Santa Clara, like Levi Stadium doesn't get that loud. It gets a lot of fair weather fans. Like it's hilarious that they travel well.
No, it's a bad stadium. They built it near where they thought the money center was, the Bay Area, instead of where the fans of their team were. And they thought the fans would come, and they haven't.
Another foolish money grab. Of course.
All right.
Speaking of Niners, I have to bring this up because I read it, and Michael, who's here today, is a real estate person. But what is this millennial something that's actually tilting or sinking in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Joe Montana has an apartment there. I heard.
This is like a 2016 story. The first.
I know, but I think they just discovered it's sinking faster or more. Something happened today or yesterday. It was in the news again. So,
Mike,
they were saying that the tower they had plans to, because originally they had to drill a certain depth to secure it into the earth, into the bedrock, or to reach the bedrock, and now they're saying that they're not going with as expensive of a plan. They're going with some sort of like alternate approach that's cheaper, and it's like, I feel like you guys tried that the first time. we know it didn't work, so why are you trying it again?
Plus, Joe Montana lives there. They got to take care of Joe, don't they?
I think those apartments, I don't know the actual, I don't do residential, but I think that those residential apartments are like losing value.
They have an excellent restaurant at the bottom of the building, International Smoke, Aisha Curry with Michael Minna, and every time you walk by there, it just smells amazing. They're smoking ribs and oh man, they have like duck wings, and it's just amazing.
I thought you were going to say every time you walk by there, people seem like they're sitting lower in the restaurant.
Yeah, imagine the penthouse suites with the pool tables. Those aren't working very well.
All right, let's move on. Sorry, I interrupted. But.
All right, Dad, you got the next game. Steelers at Chiefs. I got the Vegas odds if you need them.
I think I believe I watched the Steelers play the Chiefs a few weeks ago in Kansas City, and they just got embarrassed. I don't see how this game will be any different. Now, with that said, the Chiefs clearly are not that strong this year. I mean, there was some parts of that Denver game where the Chiefs didn't look good at all from a few days ago. I don't know if you guys watched any of that game. I think it was Saturday maybe, but
yeah.
I mean, the Chiefs definitely don't look like a team that's going to, yeah. But I mean, this game here, I mean, could be Ben's last game, probably be Ben's last game. It may be a little competitive, but I think Kansas City, especially I think Kansas City's probably still stinging from last year's Super Bowl. I mean, I would think a team of this caliber with the coaching staff getting back into playoffs, they're going to be ready to rock and roll at home. I mean, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Chiefs.
Nothing to add for me. I greenlight it, except that it's probably Ben Roethlisberger's last playoff game ever. I would assume.
They're terrible. They're the worst
he,
playoff team in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can't believe he hasn't announced that he hasn't announced that he's gonna retire yet after the season. He wants to keep playing, maybe. So we'll see if that happens. But I think it's probably his last playoff game appearance. Mike, you giving the green light as well? Sorry to cut you off.
No, I mean, if they're the worst, then that would make the Chiefs not in the playoffs. So I'm gonna go with Steelers or the Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs. All right, we've agreed on 5 of the 6. Maybe I'll give you a reason to disagree here. Cardinals at Rams. Rams are the home team. Rams are 4.5-point favorites. I've actually watched, for some reason, I've watched a lot of Rams games and watched a few Cardinals games, maybe just because they play the Niners a lot and it's like the home game here. But I think the Cardinals are better, and I'm not sure why people think the Rams are better. So the Cardinals just beat the Cowboys a couple weeks ago. They were like 5.5-point underdogs. They just don't get a lot of respect. Like, they were the best team through the first half of the season by a long shot. I think that the Rams rely a lot on Cooper Kupp, and they're gonna focus on limiting his production, even though it seems like every team along the way has tried to do that and they've failed to do that. But as a divisional team that's seen him twice, maybe they've seen all that the Rams can throw at them from a Cooper Kupp connection standpoint, and I just think that the Cardinals take care of business on Monday night
with young Cliff.
Yeah, Cliff Kingsbury.
What about the height of the Rams defensive line?
Oh, because Kyler Murray is like 5'10".
Yeah.
I'm not worried about that. Would anyone like to use their veto?
Yes, I would like to.
Yeah, I'll let Dad use the veto.
I'll use my veto. Now, Matt, you can veto, you can counter veto, but then Michael could counter veto, but then we'll use 3 vetoes on one game. But go ahead.
Matt thinks that they're going to win it all, so he has to veto here. That's the thing.
He thinks Arizona's going to win it all?
Yeah. So here comes his veto.
I do not, and I'm not going to use my veto, but I think you're wrong. But if you guys are so Dad, that's your official. We're taking one of Dad's 2 red lights here, not Michael's. Call it first.
I feel like every time I pick a team, like every time I look at the playoff picture, I look at the teams that have been streaking and improved over the course of the season, as well as are healthy. And you look at the Cardinals, and they aren't healthy. They've gotten worse over the course of the season, and they're just extremely inconsistent. So, like, though they are still like a top 10 team, I don't think that bodes well going into the playoffs. So maybe they win one game and lose the next, but I think they might lose this game because they're so evenly matched.
All right, we're going with Rams, but I'll leave you with this. Arizona's 8-1 on the road this season. So,
well, this is a home game.
No, it's not. Rams got home field.
That was a joke, Matthew. Where are they playing?
Oh, Los Angeles, yeah. Although I would say, I don't think Arizona travels that well, even though they don't have very far to travel.
Yeah, I was going to say. I don't know if there's any Ram fans at those games.
I don't think there's Cardinals fans either. I don't know who's going to
I think that's why I like the Rams. Another reason. This is probably one of the few teams that won't travel.
All right. Let me just do the reseeding real quick. So we get this right. So the highest seed, or the lowest seed, I guess, that moved on is the Bengals. So the first game for Michael to tell us about is Titans Bengals.
I don't like the Titans, and I never have in the playoffs, but they looked amazing. Was it last year or 2 years ago? And they were like 13-3 or whatever, and lost to the Ravens in like a shitty game where Derrick Henry had like 46 yards. So none of those facts might be correct, But I think it was something like that. I don't know if you guys remember.
I
But
thought they could have knocked the Patriots out. It was an incredible game, I think, but you might be right.
Let's see. We can check this in 2 seconds. Ravens, Titans, playoff game, NFL wild card round.
Are they getting the running back?
20 to
coming
13.
back?
Yeah, they lost last year. The Ravens beat the Titans 20-13.
No, the year before. What about the year before or the year before that?
I don't know, but Derrick Henry had 40 yards in that game.
Yeah, I'm thinking about the year before that, I think.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I just don't like them. It's Vrabel, right? I don't like them in the playoffs. I think the bye will get them to a round they probably wouldn't have been in if they had to play round one. So I can't go with the Titans. You guys can veto if you want, but
Okay, so you've gone with the Bengals?
yeah, and it's not that I'm going with the Bengals, I'm going anti-Titans. Because I don't think Bengals really deserve to be in the NFC Championship or AFC Championship.
Let's take a quick aside to rank the remaining 8 quarterbacks that we have, just real quick. So you have Joe Burrow in this game and Ryan Tannehill. You have Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes on the other side in the AFC. In the NFC, you have Aaron Rodgers, you have Jimmy Garoppolo, you have Tom Brady, and you have Matt Stafford. So who do we think is the worst of those 8?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you guys have an opinion, but I think Tannehill is like Garoppolo and Tannehill are good time management quarterbacks, but they are bad offensive quarterbacks. And then I think Stafford's way too unpredictable. Like he can throw 4 picks in a game and lose his team the game. So it's between those 3 in my mind. I don't know who I would put last because it changes on a game-to-game basis, but maybe playoff quarterback, I would say Tannehill as the worst, Stafford as the second worst, and then Garoppolo above that because he's had some success in the playoffs in the past.
Yeah, Dad, I'll let you jump in a second, but I agree with Michael's worst 3. I think the best 3 are Mahomes, Brady, and Rodgers, and then somewhere in the middle is Burrow and Allen. And so if you look at it like that, you're looking at a middle-tier quarterback versus a low-tier quarterback here. So maybe I agree on the Bengals, but then if you look at the running back situation, that kind of stuff, like you have a great offensive line in Tennessee, terrible one in Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati's defense is really good. Tennessee's is top half. So it's a close game.
Tennessee's good, but Bengals let up. How many points did they let up to the Chiefs? Like the first half, they got slaughtered.
Yeah, I mean, Chiefs that was like probably the high point of their year, though, right? That was right in the middle of that ginormous streak that they went on, and Kittle finally came back to life in that game, if I remember. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I would. I mean, we all agree those 3 quarterbacks are clearly the bottom tier. But it's funny, other than Tannehill, with the other 2, if you needed a late drive, it is possible that someone like Garoppolo or what's his name Stafford could actually lead your team down to victory with a minute left because they have the potential. I think the reason I actually like Tennessee a lot in this game, but I hate to have to use my second veto, but I think I'm going to have to, is because, and I'm pretty sure they did beat the Patriots 2 years ago in New England, but they have the playoff experience and they have the coaching experience. You remember Cincinnati, this is all new territory. If they win that first game, which they probably will, going on the road for a game of this caliber with the coaching staff and the team, this like next year, this is the kind of game where they'll lose, but then next year they'll build on it because next year they're going to take the next step probably. I think it's a lot to ask for them to get to the playoffs, win the first playoff game, and then go to the top seed and beat them. I think that's a real lot. And Tennessee's well coached and has enough talent. I like Tennessee in this game a lot.
Might have it's a bit of a vengeance game for a redemption game from last year, I guess. Because in 2 years, you're right. I think 2 years ago they had that run where they won 2 straight from the wild card seed. Yeah, they went on the road twice and won.
So
twice.
Matt, if you're not going to use your veto, I'm going to have to use my second and last veto here.
Before you gave your reasons, I might have I was really unsure, but I think I like your argument a bit better. So I'll go ahead and use my veto on and take the Titans here. Sorry, Mike. And
That's fine.
maybe
I
just
don't-
one more X factor is
I'm
Joe
so sorry about
Burrow
it.
is a little banged up. He tweaked his knee, I think, week 17. So maybe that's the difference. But
Who's playing with a broken thumb? Is that Garoppolo?
I think so. Is that right? Yeah. He's been in and out of injuries all year. I can't keep track.
Well, Rodgers had COVID toe. Rodgers, you never know. Yeah.
All right, good segue, Dad. So why don't you pick the first game on the NFC side? Number 1 seeded Packers hosting the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers always wanted to play for the Niners growing up. Grew up in just above the Bay Area. I think he grew up in Marin, if I'm not mistaken. But wasn't drafted by a team, and so it's always been a little salty that he's not playing for them. So maybe this is just we'll just take care of business. But what do you think?
What do you think, Michael? Matt sounds like he lives in California his whole life. Actually, I think mom's nearby, but have you lived more of your life in California than Connecticut at this point? It's pretty close now, isn't it?
No, that's still got 3 years in Connecticut on California.
I don't know. It's you're closing the gap fairly quickly. Huh? Yes. Anyway, after losing last year, there's no way they lose this game. There's just no way. They take care of business easily. The Packers.
Yeah, I have to go Packers too. I don't love them as a favorite to the Super Bowl, but you can't go against them here. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
Back-to-back MVPs for Rodgers. I don't think he's going to lose the first game that he plays this playoffs.
But they have historically, right? I mean, they've probably lost 2 or 3. They've won their division and lost to the Giants. They've won their division and lost to. I bet you they've
in
lost
Lambeau too, right? Which is like, yeah you would think that.
What about the weather? What do you think the weather's gonna be like in 2
actually.
weeks?
No, but I agree with. I was just saying, like to Michael's point, like they've had that bye week and then they come out and lose at Lambeau with coming off a bye, which is. But I think that's one of the reasons Aaron Rodgers played this week. So he didn't have 2 weeks off, and so I think that was kind of a smart move, and that's why I'll green light the Packers here.
Doesn't their coach have one of the best records ever for the first so many games? The Packers coach, it's insane. His record.
I'm sure, but it'll be a lot different next year when Daniel Jones is their quarterback.
Daniel Jones.
All right, so I think we all agree there. I guess I have my pick here between the last 2 games. So I will.
Wait, do I have 2 vetoes left?
Yeah, my dad and I have 1 each, and you have 2.
I'll throw my veto in that last one.
You're taking the Niners?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, we can't. I'm looking at the bracket now. We can't go all favorites. I'm gonna go Niners.
I almost want to use my second veto now. That's a crazy. We're picking the Niners over the Packers.
I just the playoffs never go as you expect them to, and the Niners could be a surprisingly good team.
Hold that thought 1 second. Okay, back to this. I'm gonna use my veto, my last veto. I think the Packers are winning this. I just don't see it, Mike. I don't see the Niners win that game.
All right,
So
well,
that's it. I'm out.
All right.
I think we vetoed Michael twice. He's going to be right. We know that. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna pick the Bills Chiefs game. So Tumbo, try to do a podcast here. Unbelievable. I think Kiara's home. All right. I am gonna take the Bills for some of the reasons that have already been touched upon. The Chiefs have been really up and down this season. I think the Bills had a moment of weakness earlier in the season too, highlighted by that game against the Patriots. They also lost to like Jacksonville, I think, at one point. But I'm seeing really good things as far as like getting better every week from them. They seem to be really just like streaking well, trending in the right direction, if you will, going into the playoffs. And they're going to be on the road in Arrowhead. And I think Josh Allen looks at Patrick Mahomes as his equal, not somebody that is a Super Bowl MVP, past MVP of the league. I think he's going to measure himself against Mahomes one day and through his whole career. So I think that this is a really important game for him in the way he thinks about himself and his team. So I think Bills take care of business, go on to the AFC Championship game.
And why did you get to just select that one again? I don't want to use a veto, but I don't know.
I selected that one, and you're up next, but on the Bucks Rams after we determine whether you guys are going to let this slide. You each have one veto each, right?
I just I'm gonna veto it.
Wow. Why? Why do you love the Chiefs so much?
They've just been there before, and I think that their offense is still just as good as it was last year.
I have to veto Michael's veto.
You can't.
We'll be out. We'll be all out of vetoes if that happens.
What's the other game that we haven't got to yet?
Bucks or Rams, and then we pick the AFC and NFC Championship game.
And then I get to choose whoever I want for the Bucks Rams.
I'm so hard to pick against the Chiefs at home, but I just don't think they're that. Yeah, I'm gonna veto. I'm gonna take the Bills. Sorry, Mike.
Oh my gosh, you guys are stuck in last year. They're pretty equivalent teams.
Michael's gonna make a lot of money if you just take bets on his picks because we're going against him here.
All right, we've got 3 games left. The question is this: should we all get one more red light here? One more veto?
Nope.
Okay.
Not for Mike.
All right, Bucks
Rams
hosting the Rams. Michael says Rams, and there's no vetoes left to stop him.
Wow.
What'd you pick, Michael?
Rams.
I love it. Excellent. I don't see it. Yeah, that's good. I like somebody got knocked Tampa off. That's good.
Yeah.
Right. Here's your AFC and NFC title games. We've got the Bills at the Titans, and we've got
what an ugly game that's going to be.
and we've got the Rams at the Packers. I really fought hard for the Packers. Michael or Dad really fought hard for the Bills.
How do we select the last 2?
Well, you just picked, so Dad and I get our 2 picks here.
Oh,
that's not fair to Mike. Oh, he has his vetoes in his pocket though, right?
No,
he used them all.
Oh, he did too. Oh,
that's what I'm saying. Do we want to?
No,
how about if both people are opposed to the pick, we can change it.
Okay. I think we should just vote 2 out of 3 pick. Yeah.
Okay. All right, Dad. Why don't you preview well, what do you want to do? You want to do the AFC or the NFC game for us? Do you want to do the Rams Packers or Bills Titans? You can pick whichever one you want.
I guess I'll do the Rams.
All right, Rams at Packers.
Rams.
Dad, what do you got?
I think before the year started, I said actually after the first game of the year, I wonder what the Packers' odds were. They were 4-4 in the beginning of the year too. And they got blown out in week
43-7 or something like that.
I wonder what the odds were for them to win the Super Bowl. They were probably pretty good in the beginning.
I'll tell you right now, Packers are plus 170 to win the NFC Championship, and they're plus 375 to win the Super Bowl.
After week 1 of the NFL season, I bet you they were 10-1.
Well, yeah. Aaron Rodgers hadn't even practiced yet. I think he just showed up for that game.
Yeah, but they were 4. How about after they were 4-4? I wonder,
No. Packers?
Yeah.
No, they won. After they lost that game, I think they won about 6 or 7 straight to start the
year.
year.
They went on a run.
Yeah.
I think it's something else. Anyway.
And I'll give you the Rams. Let me just give you the Rams odds while I'm here. Rams are plus 450 to win the NFC Championship, and Rams for the Super Bowl are plus 1,000. So go ahead.
I'll tell you whose odds are pretty high for a team that has home field is Tennessee. Their odds are probably 8-9 to 1, and they're at home field, right?
Yeah, and Tennessee. I mean, not to get off track, but Tennessee is plus 340 to win the AFC Championship and plus 850 to win the Super Bowl. But you said you wanted to pick Packers Rams, right?
I bet you that this it seems like this year is the most amount of teams can win the Super Bowl that are in the playoffs. Because I feel like the Bills like the Cardinals a 5 seed can win it. The Rams is a 4 seed can win it.
Well, I mean, yeah, look at those quarterbacks we said were in the final 8, right?
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
worst one was Garoppolo, who has a really good record. Yeah, so there's good teams left, good defenses, good teams. I think really once you get down to the final 6 or 8 teams, COVID becomes a factor too, and you lose a star player, like who knows? Like it's kind of one of those years where it's wide open. Maybe not for the Eagles, but for most teams. But Dad, anyways, what do you got? Packers, Rams?
Yeah, I like the Packers.
Mike, you took the Rams,
Yep.
so it's up to me.
Mhm.
Well, halfway through the year, I did like a Super Bowl prediction, and I'm just gonna stick with the team that I had in the Super Bowl halfway through the year, and it wasn't the Rams. Sorry, Mike,
Yeah,
it was the Packers.
They're not going to win the Super Bowl. The Packers are not going to win the Super Bowl.
All right,
Well, we didn't say they're going to win. So they're going to get there.
I
Yeah,
will
who are you going to play? Titans or Bills? Or Bills or who's on the other side?
What do they say? Like in the when they take votes in the Senate, like I will note Michael's like transgression here for the record, or what do you call that? He went against the green. I will note it here for the Senate minutes that Michael chose the Rams, but unfortunately, as part of this game, Packers are moving on. All right. I guess it's up to me, right? So Bills Titans. My vote's gonna go to the Bills. And I just can't believe we even have the Titans still around at this point. I know they have home field, but come on.
Well, we have them winning one game. Don't give them too much credit.
That's true. Yeah. All right, let's go. We're gonna go Bills here. Josh Allen versus Aaron Rodgers Super Bowl. That's what I'm thinking. You guys,
Agree.
what do you think?
Yep.
All right, all 3 of us took the Bills.
Yeah. I don't know if they get there because Chiefs, but yeah, if we're here,
This is where we are. All right, we got our Super Bowl. Packers, Bills. The game will be played where? Anyone know?
Los Angeles. Hopefully.
Is it SoFi?
Are we allowed to say Super Bowl on this podcast, or do we get like some sort of fine, Dad? Do you know?
SoFi Stadium, yeah. Play at SoFi.
SoFi. There we go.
Is that what kind of turf is that? What kind of surface is that?
Brand new stadium, it has to be good, right? I mean, I know the Niners messed it up, but
I should know, but is it grass? Do they cart it in? You see in Las Vegas, they have the dirt and they bring it in, I guess, or something, the grass.
Yeah, in the Coliseum, they just they put a monster truck rally in there.
It's turf, yeah. They share Rams and Chargers share a turf dome, SoFi Stadium. Yeah, it's a dome, so it has to be. I guess they couldn't move grass right before, yeah.
Yeah, Las Vegas has the cover, the dome, but
all right, so just a quick aside here again. So we have Bills Packers. The odds of those 2 teams meeting in Super Bowl. So if you combine the plus 170 Packers to make the NFC, to win the NFC, and the plus 360 Bills, so that'll pay about 5.5 to 1 for exact matchup purposes. That's not very good odds, but you might as well pick the Super Bowl straight up. So if you want the Packers, you think the Packers are going to win it all, you get 4 to 1. Bills, you get 7.5 to 1 on your money. I don't know if I have a strong opinion here, so I'll let you guys go first. Maybe I'll go second, so I don't have to make the deciding vote either.
I'll go first. I don't think either of them are going to make it, and I can't pick the Packers to win it all, so I'm going to go Bills because that's what I'll be rooting for.
Yeah, Bill, you'd be rooting for the Bills in that scenario.
Yeah, they have a bruised secondary. I don't think they're going to make it. I want them to. I don't think they will make it.
what about after Belichick beats him this week?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give the Packers the edge here. I think Aaron Rodgers just, in the time of playing his whole career, in the time of Tom Brady, has been really tough on him. So when he sees Tom Brady lose to the Rams in round 2, he's going to get super excited that he doesn't have to play him in the NFC Championship game, that his path just got a lot easier. And he's just like, this is my year to win the Lombardi Trophy again.
Yeah, I think
receiver in the league. second best.
Yeah, I think I go Packers, because if you think about it, which team is less likely to even get to that game of those two? I think the Bills have a tougher road than the Packers to get to the Super Bowl, right? If you think about it. I mean,
Mike.
first they got to beat Belichick, which can't assume that, and then they got to beat. If it's not Tennessee, who would they beat, right? So I think there's a good chance the Bills don't even get there. So I think you have to take the Packers and win.
Yeah, they would have to beat Belichick, and then who's the Chiefs head coach? Ed, what's his name? Andy Reid. Yeah, and then they'd have to beat the Titans probably. Just to get there, and then go and play Aaron Rodgers. So that's a really tough road for the Bills. And they have no run game. I mean, they have a good defense, great quarterback. They have Stephon Diggs, which everyone always continuously underrates. So I think they'd be lucky just to get that far. But all right. So Michael, I note your dissenting opinion again for the record, for the minutes.
I think anything can happen in this playoff. I think it's the most evenly split playoff bracket I've ever seen. In no other year did I think that 6 teams can win it. 5 teams can win it.
Yeah, I think you're in for a pretty fun postseason where, like you said, the upsets are gonna maybe take over, and we'll end up with some high seeds in the later rounds that normally doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That's
but they won't be the Eagles or the Cowboys.
Yeah, because the NFC, because of our Giants bias.
Yeah.
And maybe the Raiders will go farther than we all expected.
I hope, but probably not.
All right. I think we're done here. Mike, do you want to add any thoughts on Klay Thompson's return before we go?
He shouldn't have dunked that ball, probably.
It was a little, that landing was
when he dunked last time is when he injured it, right?
How about that first layup of the game when he sort of he basically created he created the opportunity though to roll his ankle there or something, right? Because he could have easily landed on somebody's foot or something there. Yeah, I'm just worried watching it.
What I will say is that the worst thing you could do is do things to avoid getting injured, because it will be on your mind. You'll get re-injured. So he should just play the way that he was playing before. And if he gets re-injured again, it's not on him.
Yeah, a couple of his shots looked a little flat. Who might have criticized?
Yeah, it looked weird. No, it looked weird. I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like he threw a dart instead of shooting it with an arc. But,
or he's a little nervous. I don't know what it is. He hasn't played in a long time, so.
But it was just awesome to see him out there. All the videos and the intro they did before the game was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
900 and something days, they said, in between the last time he played an NBA game until
961.
Today.
I was looking at that. I was like, no way. June 13th, 2019.
Yeah.
In the championship against Toronto. Wow, it's literally 3 years ago.
And he was, before he got the terrible injury, he was an NBA second team. He's one of the best 10 players in the NBA. 21 points a night, 44% 3-point percentage. Just an amazing shooter and teammate and all defense. So they're going to be, if he even comes back to 80% of what he was pre-injuries, they're going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Isn't he really good? Isn't he excellent defender too? Or
always guards the best, their best guy, unless it's a center, obviously. But he's amazing. So he's the guy you'd put on. I guess let's see who are going to play another stretch, Utah. So I don't know. He probably D up Donovan Mitchell 1-on-1 in that series, or against the Suns. Not Chris Paul, because Chris Paul's kind of would be probably Curry's assignment, but I don't know.
He'd probably put on Julius Randle or something, right?
yeah, exactly. Anyone 1 through 4.
In the finals, that's a whole guarding. Right?
He takes significant series against LeBron when Iguodala needed some rest in the past, and Iguodala's a lot older now, so they're not going to put Iguodala on LeBron. Say Lakers and Warriors play round 1 or something. He would take Anthony Davis or LeBron every possession. So pretty awesome to see him back out there. Not to mention he shoots 44% from 3, which can't be understated. And it had 60 points one game, 37-point quarter. Pretty crazy. He owns the NBA 3 points in a game record. Curry's it was Curry's record twice, and then Clay took it from him, and Curry hasn't been able to beat it yet. I think it's 16 threes in a game, or 15 threes in a game.
That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. That wraps it up. I think we have a bracket that none of us like. So maybe that was what we learned, is that if we do a cooperative game like this, we'll
end up with the favorites winning every game. Basically.
No, we picked a 3 seed in the Super Bowl.
Bills. Yeah. Well, because we don't like the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Well,
right,
Matt, what we did was we designed we built a camel, right? What's that saying? What's a camel? It's a horse designed by a committee. So we just
that's exactly what we did.
we just designed this losing bracket collectively. Yeah.
We made something that none of us like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, everyone. That's it.
We don't want to talk about that building sinking anymore. We're good. Did you watch the golf? Did you watch the golf in Hawaii, Mike?
No, but back on the building point, I was watching during Thanksgiving, Matt, that they've never studied the impact of heavy weight of buildings within a small area like of a city, and they believe that all of San Francisco is actually sinking. So not only is like the sea level rising, but the city itself is sinking because of the weight of the buildings. So
the weight of all the buildings collectively.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't happen in Manhattan, you're saying, because the bedrock is stronger in Manhattan?
Yeah, something like that.
The concentration, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that whole area of the San Francisco originally was water and marsh, and then they filled it in at one point. The whole financial district, right? So, maybe this is what happens when you fill in a marsh with sand, I guess, and dirt, and then just start putting 30-floor skyscrapers on top of it. But yeah, again, I think downtown Manhattan was the same thing at one point. So
yeah,
don't let your tenants know this fun fact, man.
No, I don't. I think we're okay. I think where we are is okay.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't put the big Y in their Stop and Shop in Monroe. Same reason, Mike.
All right.
Later, guys.
Later.